How y'all doing? Welcome to Real Talk. I am your handsome and humble host, Dave Allred. Yeah, see what I did there? Yeah, very clever. Anywho, today's episode is a doozy. Okay, we are jumping back into the 21 laws of running a successful restaurant and business. So buckle up and pay attention because this one law alone will help your bar and restaurant, not to mention other areas of your life, flourish to levels you can't even imagine. Okay, this law will put your business and your personal growth on success steroids. Okay, in fact, this law is a universal leadership law for just about any business you can think of. And I've seen it and I've experienced it in my own business. All right, for those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Dave Allred, the Real Barman. Been in the industry for more than 3 decades, and I'm just here to help you be better at what you do. Okay, if you like the podcast, we'd love a review, or if you're watching on YouTube, give it a like and subscribe. Really helps us out. Okay, so here's how I came across this law. My brother-in-law, Frank, is a great success story, and I have been extremely lucky in my life to have been around successful people. And really remarkably, to take a step back, I am the luckiest husband on the planet because my in-laws are phenomenal. All right, how many husbands get to say that? I mean, I also have a great family. They're amazing. It's just, in-laws. Okay, they're usually these annoying, toxic pieces of crap. All right, but not in this case. So the 2 most successful people I've been around since my early 20s, like financially speaking and business-wise, are my 2 brothers-in-law. Okay, my brother-in-law, Gary, was one of my best friends and the most successful person I've ever known in all areas of life, business, family, friends, everything. Okay, and he just passed away back in July from cancer, so super devastating to all of our family. He was 1 in a million, over 600 people at his celebration of life. That's how much influence he had on the people around him. Okay, and I'm getting off topic here, but the point I want to make is, unless you've been living under a bridge, I'm sure you've heard the saying that you become the 5 people that you hang around most. Okay, unlike other hollow phrases and idioms out there, this one is dead on, balls accurate, as Marissa Tomei says in My Cousin Vinny.
Dead on, balls accurate?
Yes, dead on, balls accurate. Okay, you are who you hang around with. You see this with kids all the time. They hang out with druggies, they become druggies. If they hang out with athletes, they play sports. And it's not just kids, it's all of us. We are so impressionable, and when we hang out with people that are energetic and positive and motivated, it becomes entrenched and rooted in our fiber. Just like when you think big and positive thoughts. Okay, those 2 become part of who we are. And when you're around people who judge or put you down or tell you to be realistic about your dreams, those are people who can drag you down into the deep, dark abyss. Okay, so I was able to get that from both of my brothers-in-law early on. Okay, the positive side, not the abyss. Okay, that's the point of that little detour I just went on. Okay, but Frank, he's the main character of this episode. He's the one who inspired me to change the way I ran my business, and I'm gonna tell you so it can help change yours as well. Okay, I met Frank soon after I met my wife, which was way back in 1994. And at that time, Frank was working construction for like $12 an hour, busting his ass. Okay, just building stuff, like roofing in the middle of July and 110 degrees. Okay, he was a common worker, a commoner, a peasant. All right, is that offensive? I don't care. All right. Frank never went to college, okay, but he was smart, okay? He was the guy who sold candy door to door when he was 11 years old to make extra money. Okay, Mark Cuban would have loved him. Okay, he was a hustler. So at some point, he decided that he was done with being a common construction worker, and he set out to start his own contractor business installing ceilings for commercial buildings. Okay, and this was a gigantic undertaking to start all of this on his own. Okay, and I won't go into all the details here about how difficult it is to start and compete in the commercial contracting industry in San Francisco, California, okay, or how Frank grinded and crawled through that river of shit to get to the other side. But I will say that Since that time, up until now, Frank has built a $50 million company. So that's mega successful, okay, in case you're as dull as a bag of hammers. And you can see how that might be nice to know someone like that, okay? Today, Frank is one of my great friends, and he has been amazing mentoring me in business. But the biggest thing I learned from him was not like business savvy financial or investment advice, even though he's really good at that too. Okay, and here's where we finally get to the part that helps you. Okay, you've been waiting so patiently. The biggest thing I learned from Frank is what I call the law of gigantic personality. Okay, that's right, stick with me here. Okay, now Frank is a former drill sergeant in the Marines. Okay, he has no problem telling you what the fuck is on his mind. And when I first met Frank, he would often revert back to his drill sergeant days and get heated for a variety of reasons. All right, translation is he could be an asshole if he wanted to. Okay, he never was to me, but he was to dumbasses or people who annoyed him. Okay, if you were one of those, look out. Okay, with that said, over the years, Frank's personality has changed more than just about anyone I've ever known. Okay, and he did this because he saw the benefits of getting more flies with honey than what is it? Is it vinegar? I get that's a stupid saying. Or is it bees? More bees. I don't know, is it flies or bees? I'm getting off track, but that's a dumb saying, okay? It can't be bees because bees don't get caught in their own honey, okay? But I've never seen a fly caught in honey either. And who tries to catch flies with vinegar? Has that ever worked? That's a horrible strategy. Anyway, you get the metaphor, so it's irrelevant, okay? I'm a tangent guy, I'm sorry. The point is, Frank was always a good guy, but now he eliminated his asshole moments, and he is someone that you want to be around all the time. Okay, he's magnetic, and you can see it when he walks into one of his clients' buildings. And I've been there with him. Okay, I've seen it. He'll start chatting up the receptionist, who will start laughing at something Frank has said. Then pretty soon someone else will come over and join in. And before you know it, 20 workers from this building have stopped what they're doing so they can be on what Frank is talking about. Okay, he's fucking contagious is what he is. You just want to hang out with the guy. All right, meanwhile, I'm in the background having been scooted aside by this group of Frank fans as if I'm like an annoying stray dog. But I was fine with it because it was just fun to watch and learn what he was doing. Okay, now, this particular building I'm talking about was and is home of one of the biggest commercial construction companies on the West Coast. They are what you'd call a whale because, if you can land them, all right, well, you get the metaphor. All right. When Frank first walked into that building years ago to ask if he could bid for work for them, they basically laughed at him and scoffed and told him that they did not have work for him and that they would probably never have work for him. All right, nevertheless, Frank, being the hustler he is, asked if it was okay if he checked back once in a while. Okay, and the receptionist sort of sighed reluctantly and said that, I guess that would be okay. All right, the thing is, though, Frank didn't tell her how much and how often he would come back to check. He was determined to land them as a client. So he not only checked back, but he walked in their doors like 3 or 4 times per week to chat them up. Okay, nearly every day. Okay, at first, they were put off by this, like by this guy who wouldn't listen to the fact that they had no work for some small startup company. All right, but the more he went in and chatted them up, the more they loved him and actually looked forward to him coming in. Okay, today, Frank does all of the ceiling and drywall business for that company. He bids all of it out. Okay, that's a massive amount of business. It's his biggest client. Okay, and what it comes down to is that Frank is the face of the business and his clients are ridiculously loyal to him. Okay, not just because he provides quality ceilings and drywall, but because they love him. All right, and the point to this rambling story is that you, as the owner or GM, must be the face of your bar or restaurant the same way that Frank is the face of his business. You need to delegate the busy work to your other managers and staff so that your establishment bleeds your guts and soul. Does that make sense? Is that dramatic? You are responsible for making your place memorable. Okay, that means you should walk up and shake hands with and greet every single person that walks through your doors. Does that seem excessive? Well, maybe, but you can't want something special. Like, you can't have this dream or goal to become a great, successful entrepreneur or run a premier business and then just do what everyone else does. You can't do what everyone else does because 95% of the people are just doing mediocre things. In order to be elite and to stand out, you have to be willing to do what others won't. You must practically be a politician in your own business. Greet every table with a big personality. Okay, and you might call these table touches, which is a common term, which they are, but not the boring cliche table touches where you walk by when the food is dropped and say politely, how is everything this evening, folks? I hope you find everything to your liking. And then you just walk away. All right? That is called thinking small, thinking safe, doing what everyone else does. Hey, think big. Like, be big, be different, be full of personality, be a real person, not a cliche cardboard manager who follows an etiquette rule book or who just wants to get through the day. If you want to be something great, you can't just get through the day. And if you don't want to be something great, that's fine too. There's no judgment, but don't bitch and moan that you're not something great when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, when you're doing what everyone else does. You need to greet each person as if they're a nephew who you used to bounce on your lap, who you haven't seen for years, and who just won the lottery. Okay, be overjoyed to see them. Ask about their family, their house, their job, their dog, everything. Laugh big, joke big. Be someone they want to hang around all the time. That's what you have to do to be the face of your business. Okay, now you might be saying, or more accurately, you might be whining, but I don't know how to have a big personality. I don't know what to say. All right, fair enough. Okay, I have another lesson from Big Frank that's going to help. Here's the other thing that Frank used to do, which really influenced me, because despite his seemingly big personality, he told me that most of the time, especially early on, he was scared that he wouldn't know what to say to people, okay, to his potential clients he was speaking with. So he wrote down a long list of questions he could ask to get them talking about themselves. Okay, and this in itself is brilliant because people love to talk about themselves, and questions get them to do that. And after they're done speaking with you, they feel like you're the most interesting person that they've ever met in the world, even though you haven't said a thing about yourself. Okay, so try this yourself. Write out a list of 10 questions or so that you can ask your guests. Okay, just simple questions to get to know them. Okay, you don't need to ask all 10. All right, that would be a bit much. Just have a big list so you can mix them up. Okay, ask each table like 2 or 3 questions and then just move on. Okay, because even though I want you to have a big personality and work the room, what I don't want you to do is to be a jackass. Okay, it's a fine line, but you have to have your sensors on so you don't annoy people. Okay, so that means greet everyone with your big personality. Hey, how's everyone doing tonight? You shake the closest person's hand and then you wait for their response. Okay, and if they smile and look enthusiastic, you move forward with some questions. But if it's clear that they're in the middle of a conversation or they stare at you like your face is melting off your skull, tell them to enjoy their meal or drink and to let you know if they need anything and then move on. Okay? If you can read what people want as far as being left alone or chatting them up, you will be well loved all the way around, and people will come back again and again and again just so they can be around your positive energy. And in the process, other people will see how well you're liked as you're talking with people, and they will begin to wonder what it is about you that is so great, and they will look forward to you visiting them at their table or at the bar. Okay, and bonus, this also creates a lead by example moment for your staff. Okay, when your staff sees how you treat the guests, when they see that this is what our culture is about, like treating the guests like family, then it becomes contagious throughout your entire business and throughout your entire staff. Okay, using the Frank big personality blueprint, I started doing this for my business and it changed everything. Okay, this is truly, without a doubt, the most powerful law you can incorporate into any area of your life. Okay, along with increasing the actions that you take on a daily basis. Now, before we go on, I can hear your looming question that's just sitting there waiting to be asked. What questions do I ask? All right, I'm kidding. I'm sure you don't sound like that. Not exactly like that. Okay, fine. I won't leave you hanging. I will give you a few example questions to get you jump started, to get your juices flowing. All right, hey, here we go. Let me start over. All right, hey, how's everyone doing tonight? Okay, great. Hey, where are y'all from? Like, do you live in the area? Okay, fantastic. Is this your first time here? It is? Great. Welcome. We're excited to have you. We're going to take great care of you. Your kids are so beautiful. Do you guys play sports? Oh, baseball. I love baseball. What position do you play? Oh, shortstop? You must be very good. Okay, well, Sarah is going to be taking care of you tonight. I just want to stop by and introduce myself. I'm Dave, the owner. Thanks for coming in. If you need anything at all, please let me know. All right, now, those aren't the only questions that you can ask, of course, and I know my acting is probably really bad, but that's how easy it is to have a quick conversation in order to make customers for life. Okay, and then the next time you see them come in, like you recognize them, you can move on to the next phase of questions. You're like, hey, great to see you and the family again, Bob. How are things going? Oh, okay, great. By the way, what do you do for a living, Bob, if you don't mind me asking? Real estate. Fantastic. Do you have a card? And I'll hit you up the next time we move. Okay, are you getting a sense of how this works? Okay, I'm not talking to Bob anymore. I'm talking to you. Okay, and believe me, I'm not here to condescend you like you're a 5-year-old who needs to learn how to hold a conversation. Okay, my point is, I bet most of you aren't getting this personal with every single table that comes in. Okay, not just the regulars, but with everyone. The regulars are easy. Okay, you know them, it's easy to hold a conversation, but you need to do it with everyone so now that they become regulars. Okay, this law of big personality should be how you run your entire business. Okay, this is how you should treat your guests and how you treat your employees. Okay, kindness should be at the heart of your culture. Caring about people, doing good for other people, just for the point of doing good. All right, it's a great strategy for winning. Okay, karma is a real thing. Okay, you don't have to believe in it, but if you go out there and act like you believe in it, okay, you're going to get great results. Okay, go out with the intention of learning about others with questions and helping others with whatever they need and being kind and doing good deeds. You're going to see that over time that your life will change. Okay? Hallelujah. Preach it, brother. All right, I hope that helps you in one way or another. That's going to bring us to the end of this episode of Real Talk. Thanks for watching / listening today, whatever you're doing. I do appreciate it. I can't wait to see you till next time. Until then, I'm out.